In Pennsylvania from Allentown, this is Service Electric Cable TV, TV2.
Everybody, Dan Mowdy and Mike Zambelli ready to bring you yet another District 11 Boys Football Championship from Pius X High School. It is the Royals taking on the Battling Miners of Minersville in the Single A Championship. Mike, let's take a look at this team coming in tonight, the Minersville Battling Miners. This is a team that has some familiarity with Pius X, and that last year they met for another championship.
Well, you and I talked about, Dan, about the Eastern Conference Championship games that they're playing, and these two teams met in that final last year. Pius X was a three-point winner, but I think importantly, it gave them some kind of a playoff experience, and now they're back playing for the district championship, which was a goal for both teams, and they've accomplished that.
I mean, you talked about also the fact that so many of those Eastern Conference contenders last year are in the District 11 championships this year.
Well, yeah, when you have younger players who are going to come back the next year, it gets their feet wet, gives you a little bit of a playoff atmosphere, and it certainly paid dividends for both these clubs here this afternoon.
Rick Jones comes in here with his Battling Miners ranked in the state and ready to go. They come in with a record of 8 wins, 2 losses, and they have some pretty good talent on this squad.
Yes, they do, and they've gotten it done through the running game. You're going to get a look at John Murphy. Murphy will wear number 44. He's already committed to go to Syracuse.
Nice.
He's run for close to 1,200 yards on the season, leads the team with 15 touchdowns, and he is a horse. We just watched him warm up a little bit. So they like to get it done with a run. Passing the ball, they only average about 9 throws a game. We might see them go to the air a little bit more this afternoon.
All right, and then we take a look at the home team here, Pius X, led by Frank Scagliotta, and this team also with a fine record, 9 wins, only 1 loss. They are ready to prove themselves on their home field today.
Well, and there's a reason. And, they've been very successful the last couple of years, but you start with their quarterback, Phil Stamball. He's on the verge of maybe passing 4,000 yards for his career. He needs a real big afternoon, maybe about 250 yards. But he's a great thrower and he's a great passer. Pius X offensively will offer a better mix run and pass.
All right, Mike, today the threat of rain has seemed to be holding off as we speak. We'll remain to see whether or not the precipitation will come down later today. We're going to take a break and come back with the opening kickoff. Once again, the Battling Miners of Minersville taking on Pius X. It's Single A District 11 Championship action right here on TV2 Sports. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Rick Wagner. You know, the right fit with your bowling ball makes all the difference. Here at C.J. Wagner Bowling Supplies, you'll find the bowling ball and the personalized service that you won't find anywhere else. We take the time with each customer to make sure it's the right fit on the right ball, and then we'll drill the ball while you wait. We've been servicing the bowling public for over 50 years at 1814 Green Street in Allentown. And we also offer a full variety of trophies, plaques, awards, and engraving.
Sunshine, how does your bank react when you ask for a home equity loan? Saturday banking? Checking with interest? How about a mortgage loan? Line of credit? Won't even listen, huh? Bet they don't even know your name. Makes life a little hairy, huh? Well, Sunshine, it looks like you need a bank that wants your business. First Star Savings, the bank for all reasons.
Now more than ever, Service Electric TV2 Sports takes you right into the action. With our introduction of TV2's new super lenses, we are closer to the action than ever before. Our new super zoom lenses are the type that the networks use on sports events coverage. The leading local sports station, Service Electric Cable TV2 Sports, once again leads the way up close to the action with super slow motion instant replay and now super lenses. TV2 Sports, don't be home without us.
Still plenty of color in the trees surrounding Alumni Stadium here in Bangor, Pennsylvania. Minersville coming into town to take on Pius X. Glad you could join us. Dan Mowdy with Mike Zambelli, ready to bring you the District 11 Class Single A Championship Final. And as we mentioned, these two teams having met once before a year ago for the Eastern Conference title, now going for District 11 honors tonight. And glad that we could be a part of it here. And also want to thank the folks here at Pius X for making us very comfortable in the surroundings here at Alumni Stadium. They've got quite a crowd out here tonight, Mike.
No question about that, Dan. And in search of their first District 11 championship, and you saw that shot of the flags. The wind has really picked up here and could become a factor. You get a look at the stadium clubhouse here and press box and a good crowd here, and they're excited about this afternoon's game. Pius X comes into the game honorably mentioned among single-A schools in the state. Minersville, despite their 8-2 record, Pius X 9-1. Minersville is ranked number 9 in the latest polls, and they at one point were even a little higher than that. They suffered back-to-back losses against Blue Mountain and Southern Columbia, which kind of dropped them down, but still getting the respect to be ranked in the top 10. Looking for a very good football game. We're going to see some, really quality football players here this evening, guys. We mentioned Phil Stamball, the quarterback for Pius X. He has 4,773 yards passing so far in his 4-year career here, and again, as we experienced last night with North Schuylkill and Central Catholic, Dan, it's that time of the year, win and there's another week to your football career, and lose and it's all over, and it can come to an abrupt ending.
The harsh reality of it all. You got a chance there to see that this isn't just Royals territory, it's also Service Electric country, I should say. That was one of our antenna sites that helps us serve this area with cable television, and we are certainly happy to be up here tonight for this single-A championship final. Pius X High School coming in with a host of talent on this squad. Again, these are the smallest high schools competing in the sport of football in our area, going for all the marbles here today. Our captains now making their way out to the center of the field for the opening coin toss.
That's Frank Scagliotta, now in his 3rd season for Pius X. 26-6 record, has done a remarkable job here. Also, if that name does ring a bell, he is also a Division I NCAA basketball official, primarily works in the ACC conference. Matter of fact, he had to go out this week and do a game, but he's back here for Championship Saturday here at Pius X.
Number 44 in the state last year as far as the state wrestling championships go.
Oh, the Royals, the Mid-Penn East champions, will kick to start things off. Minersville will receive and face a pretty stiff wind that you mentioned, Mike. The wind picking up here just in the last few minutes. And we'll see if that plays a factor here as you see Frank Scagliotta on the sideline in his 3rd season and cranking right along with 4 shutouts this season. The Royals averaged 36.6 points per game. Pius X ranked number 9 in the morning call poll.
I didn't say anything, so
And now the national anthem.
click the audio to it, so I didn't know you grabbed it. If we go to a break, you can just send me the audio for 2 seconds, so I know you got it.
Talking about that Eastern Conference Championship from a year ago, Mike, it was a real knock 'em down, drag 'em out kind of contest. The Royals of Pius X coming through in a battle, beating the Battling Miners 17-14 in that event, and you can bet most of the players have vivid memories of that contest.
Well, and I'm sure they do, and that familiarity will lead to a real good football contest this afternoon, I'm sure.
And that your spirit will guide the actions and conduct of everyone here. Lord God, we also pray that our daily lives might reflect the glory of your Son, Jesus Christ, for it is in his name that we offer this prayer to you. Amen.
Some other contests going on today. District 11 4A semifinal action. Parkland facing East Stroudsburg, and we will be there. That game happening later on this evening as we make the short road trip to Eastburg. And Stroudsburg will face Easton in the other 4A semifinal.
The winner of this one will move on, take on the District 1 champion, and that will be either Bristol or Jenkintown. That game being played today also. And for the loser, as we've talked about, it is the end of the road. Seniors every week now from here on in face the prospects of it being their final game at their high school, and that always adds a little bit to the excitement. You always have that little extra maybe to give. We'll see what happens. Minersville coach Rick Jones is in his 5th season. He has a 34-21-1 record.
We are set to get it going here with District 11 Class A Boys Championship. We'll see if Minersville...
Phil Stambaugh, who is the quarterback, tees up the football as he's ready to kick off. The deep men for Minersville: Bob Nagel, John Murphy, and Josh Burgess.
And that was a look you were getting at John Murphy. He is 6'4", 233, and headed to Syracuse.
Fielded at the 31. The ball carrier is Mike Somerville. Correction, that was Dave Sekelic. And Sekelic just brings it quickly upfield all the way to midfield.
Well, and the Miners will start with excellent field position. Some good work by that wedge. Number 36, Brian Lauderman, was knocking people around, opening up some room inside to run for Sekelic.
And just like that, Minersville starts off in Pius territory. From the 48-yard line. Handoff. And making the quick tackle is Matt Brennan.
One of the things to look for here early is Minersville does work into a very good stiff breeze. They're primarily a running game, but Pius X has yet to give up a touchdown in the first quarter. They have only allowed 2 touchdowns in the entire first half. This is all season long. Their first unit defense has given up just 29 points this season.
Handoff to the fullback. Not much happening there for Lauderman. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Tackle made by Pete Gaffredo.
Well, whenever you look at a team that, doesn't give up points and scores a lot, you always talk at a solid offensive line. Max Suey, number 55, he's an offensive and defensive tackle, all-league performer, both on offense and defense last season, was named first-team Mid-Penn Conference All-Star this past season, so he's a good one. Number 55, he'll be wearing all blue.
Passing situation for Minersville, and that looks to be close to a first down. The catch made by Josh Burgess.
And that's a heck of an effort by Burgess. This field there's not a lot of grass in the middle. Burgess actually slips when he makes his turn, but has, he gets back up and then makes the play. And that is a real good throw by Marshall. Pickup of 6 on the play, and it will be a first down, our first of the afternoon. If you are just tuning in, this is District 11 Single A Championship, Minersville and Pius X. We are just underway.
Minersville at the 38-yard line, and the handoff goes to number 36, Lauderman.
6 is the hitter.
Lauderman stopped by Somerville. Somerville, a 5'11", 193-pound senior who plays both ways. He's a running back on offense.
Yeah, we'll see also, that's just a good job at the point of attack. Also standing some people up, number 51, Dave Hendershot. Hendershot, one of the top tacklers on the team with 26.
Zazis is the nose guard.
Actually, 26 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and that is a heck of a number.
Play action, Marshall fires, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Merlo, the defensive back. Merlo, another key two-way performer for the Royals. He's a 5'11", 180-pound senior.
Well, and we see another slip offensively. Merlo does a nice job of playing the football. But as Marshall delivers, his receiver is going to go down. See, he even had, so there's his receiver slipping. And then Merlo is able to come in and come up with the interception.
The ball intended for Sekelic. Pius with the football at their own 21-yard line, and that was Mike Somerville on the carry. That'll be good for a yard or two.
Somerville will do a little bit of everything. He catches the ball, he runs the ball, 80 rushes on the season, 539 yards, but also has 16 receptions for another 322 yards. So that's close to a 900-yard back you have coming out of the backfield in number 6.
That's Somerville in motion. Stambaugh can gun the ball. He looks for his man in motion, and it's incomplete. Just out of the reach of Somerville along the sideline.
Well, you could just see the wind take that football, Dan. Stambaugh is throwing with the breeze. Had an open receiver, and this is a fine athlete right here. He stands tall in the pocket, but the wind just makes that thing sail on him. It's going to be a tough day to throw the football. Stambaugh with incredible numbers, battling a little bit of a thigh bruise, but as you can see, he's in there. He's a two-way performer, one of the top defensive players also on the team.
Somerville to the near sideline, and to the far side, it's Dan Leal. Quick drop, Stambaugh looks for Somerville, and it's incomplete. Some good defensive coverage by George Flanagan there for Minersville.
Yeah, and it was Lauderman underneath number 36. That's a real nice job of pinching in on the receiver. Lauderman is going to get a good drop, 36, and then as you mentioned, Dan, number 21, Flanagan was deep. That's a tough throw to complete.
Bill Stambaugh back to punt now, and it's Josh Burgess, the deep man for Minersville. And look at this, a little wind-aided punt, and it's going to go all the way down to about the 13-yard line. Wow. They'll mark it at the 14. Stambaugh playing the wind to perfection.
Well, and clearly it's going to be that kind of an afternoon. That field position is going to be very important. Stambaugh is an outstanding three-sport athlete, also a wrestler and a fine baseball player that has not made a decision on where on what avenue he wants to go to college. 63-yard punt with no return, and Pius, the 10th, Minersville loses some 30 yards on the exchange of punts in field position.
1st and 10 for the battling Miners. Delayed handoff. John Murphy gets stripped up early. Murphy, another two-way performer, 6'4", 233-pound senior.
Well, when you don't deal with a lot of numbers as far as people out, you're going to get a lot of guys who play two ways. Excellent job by the inside of that Pius X defense. It's an amazing number. Only 2 touchdowns in 10 games in all of the first halves that they have played.
2nd and 9. And they'll stick with Murphy, and Murphy gets stuck a little behind the line of scrimmage. And a big defensive stand there by the Royals.
I believe it's going to be number 51, Hendershot, who gets movement up the field. Look at how far he is across the line of scrimmage. Also coming in to help out from the nose guard spot was number 1, Anthony Kazasas.
With the loss, it brings up 3rd and 12.
We were talking about Hendershot earlier. Amazing. That's his 27th tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Marshall rolling out, looking downfield. His receiver slips. He pump fakes and has to run it out of bounds at the 11.
That's a smart play by Marshall. Much too early in the game to be forcing things. Pius X with all kind of pressure. This is good pressure on the quarterback. Plus, you see, he does have some time. That's good coverage in the secondary. That's a long time to ask your secondary to cover people. In pursuit, number 34, Adam Goff.
Back in his own end zone to punt, Brian Lauderman.
And this is a tough situation into that breeze.
Pius has had a safety in their last couple of games. It's going to be fielded. Oh, look out! And there's a huge break for the Miners. It looks like they come up with the football. And the Battling Miners will take it at their own 40-yard line.
Well, if nothing else happens out of that scenario, just field position-wise, that is a big turnover. And again, the wind plays a factor on this. You see, it's just misjudged. The wind knocks it down, and they just do not, look it into their hands and tuck it away. Who gets that fumble recovery? 30-yard punt, but more importantly, the fumble.
An incredible set of circumstances for Minersville as they have to go against the wind. And that punt almost getting blown back the other way, but they will take over after the fumble. The rollout by Marshall. He tucks, he runs, he stays on his feet and twists his way to the 45-yard line.
Marshall, a junior, stands 5'10", weighs 180. Good, solid quarterback, and a nice job. You know, a team that has not thrown the ball that much. They're trying to stretch things out. A smart play here. I don't know if that's a designed run, but that's a good effort on his part. Give him 5 yards on the pickup. Two-way performer, Marshall, quarterback and defensive back, will also play the corner spot.
2nd and 5. And here's Murphy into the secondary. Murphy to the 42-yard line of Pius X.
You love to have a back, 6'4", 233. And with this kind of agility, excellent job in the middle of that offensive line. Murphy breaking clear into the secondary. Pickup of 14 yards on the carry.
Mike, just like that, the wind is kind of slowed down a little bit here. Still, it'll be a tough day to be passing into that wind, and they'll stay to the ground. Here's Murphy for the Battling Miners, cuts it inside on his feet, launches himself for a few extra yards, and he has the first down.
A play that the Royals have defensed pretty well. The mark of a great running back, a good running back, is that ability to make something positive out of a negative. Look at that good use of the stiff arm, keeping a tackler away from him. And then he breaks it into the secondary. 15 yards on that carry. 29 total on the last 2 carries for Murphy.
They set 2 receivers to the left. Handoff, single setback, and it's Lauderman on the carry. Lauderman to the 22-yard line, and the Royals' scoreless streak here in the first quarter is starting to look like it's in jeopardy.
Well, Lauderman, one of those players that is in a lot of the action in the game. A linebacker on defense, a running back, primarily a blocker on offense. He is in on a lot of plays, takes a lot of hits, and delivers a lot of hits. Give him 5 yards on the carry. Up front people right now for the Battling Miners doing an excellent job.
Quick handoff. Murphy met early, almost bounded off of that wall, but he goes down for a slight loss. And it'll be a couple of yards loss. It'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Steve Smith, defensive player of the Mid-Penn Conference, was one of the people in there, but there were actually 3 Royals that got a yard or 2 penetration into the backfield. And if you're going to stop a running attack, that is the way to do it. Get that movement up the field from those interior linemen.
3rd and 8. Big play here for the Battling Miners. Quick handoff to Murphy, straight up the middle. And Murphy makes his way to about the 17-yard line. He needed to get to about the 16. So a decision coming up here on 4th down. It'll be 4th and 2.
Yeah, 4-down zone here. No sense punting the football here. You're going to see him go. But again, look at the strength of Murphy. Bouncing off of people and puts them in a position where it'll be 4th and short, and we're going to have a timeout, and the Miners are going to talk about it.
Rick Jones will confer with his troops. Jones at the helm for his 5th season. And the Battling Miners again coming into this contest with 8 wins, 2 losses. And they are threatening the score here on Pius X, which has not yet been scored on this year in the first quarter. Last week, Pius X defeated Jim Thorpe by the score of 26-7. And they held the Olympians to only 26 yards on the ground, 114 yards total, while amassing 351 yards of their own. Stambaugh has been on a tear this year with 13 touchdowns in the air. A couple of his favorite targets, Merlot and Somerville, but until that team gets the ball back, it's been the Miners pushing the issue here as they work in closer to the red zone.
Head coach Rick Jones talking to his offense. Interesting story. He was telling us before the game he played with Phil Stambaugh's father in college.
Is that right?
Who is the athletic director here now at Pius X, Mike Stambaugh, and we certainly want to thank him for his courtesies in making this afternoon's telecast possible. But that's pretty interesting. Those two played college football together.
4th and 2. Marshall could pick up the yardage he needs and more. And he runs to the 11-yard line for a first down.
4th first down for Minersville. Pius X has yet to get one in a rushing attack. That can sometimes be your best defense. Excellent block, number 77, Mark Leonard. Defensive or offensive tackle weighing in at 210. Gets enough and gets locked up on that end and allows Marshall to get to the outside.
Merlot making the tackle from his defensive back position. 1st and 10 now for the battling Miners. And they'll go to Lawnbaugh this time. Otterman wrapped up early as the Pius X defense starts to kick it in high gear. That was nose guard Anthony Kazazis on the tackle.
Number one, a good football player. You always need a tough, hard-nosed guy to play that nose guard position. And again, in the backfield, deep into the backfield, good penetration, good movement across the line of scrimmage. Kazazis, a senior, 5'10", 174, two-way performer, plays end offensively. Kind of an unusual combination there, isn't it? Move from the end position on offense to the nose guard defensively.
You don't see too many nose guards wearing number 1 on their shirt. 2nd and 11. Roll out, and Marshall will take it downfield. Still up, and he's finally parked at the 5-yard line. Brandon Marshall with some good field vision, deciding to take that one upfield with some big benefits.
Marshall does an excellent job of setting up his block, looking to throw. I believe it was Murphy, number 44, who's going to give him a block coming up on the end. A couple people, but a nice job of setting that block up and a nice job of cutting back across the grain. Cost a couple of more misses. Looking for a first again. No team has scored a touchdown on Pius X in the first quarter this season.
3rd and 3, handoff. Murphy's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Now, you always want to take advantage of breaks. The Miners do exactly that. This touchdown courtesy of the fumble recovery off the muff. On the punt situation, Pius X was going to get the football at about midfield or in Minersville territory, but instead Minersville gets it and marches it down the field.
So there the record is broken for the season. Pius X getting scored upon in the first quarter for the first time this season. Credit Murphy with the 6-yard jaunt. Here's the extra point attempt, and Murphy will be the kicker. And there it is, 7-0. Minersville leading Pius X with 1:10 to play in this first quarter.
Impressive drive, Dan, into the wind. Key 4th down conversion. They did it the way they've been doing it all season long, on the ground. And this is what it is like to see 6'4", 233 pounds rambling at you. 16th touchdown of the year for the Syracuse-bound Murphy.
That shirt looks small on him, and it's probably an extra large.
Well, and again, much the way we've seen with some other big backs, you have to understand that Murphy at 6'4" and 233 is as big, if not bigger, than most of the tackles and linemen that you run into. But he has the mobility and athletic ability to be able to run, has great feet. A 10-play drive, all 10 of them on the ground, covered 60 yards. Murphy from 5 yards out. And the Battling Miners have opened up with a 7-point lead here. We have 1:10 remaining first quarter.
And you think about them punting from their own end zone into the wind and coming up with a huge turnover to set that whole thing up. This ball is fielded at the 28-yard line. And there goes Steve Smith. Smith almost to the midfield line. Smith also a bundle at 5'11", 237 pounds. He's a senior.
Well, yeah, you talk about another guy with, impressive size and agility, wearing those smaller numbers, number 44, and nice job. I mean, there's not, he just runs through that tackle like they're not there. And finally, it takes 3-4 battling Miners to get him down.
That's a truckload right there. 1st and 10 from the midfield line. Stambaugh goes sideline. It is incomplete as he was looking for Somerville. And again, that ball seemed to carry, Mike.
Yep, they're carrying on him a little bit, throwing it with the wind. He's going to have to make some adjustments. Covering on the play, number 36, Brian Lauderman. This is a play they ran in their first possession, trying to get it into that dead or open area there and just overthrown. Good coverage by Lauderman.
Stambaugh, as a junior last year, set the school record with 1,888 yards passing. There's a long one, and that one's going to fly a little longer than he wished. He was looking there for that is Tony Merlo.
Number 15, Sean Sakina in coverage. Murphy, number 44, will get close to get a little better pressure on Stambaugh, but that's just well covered by Sakina. That's going to take an absolutely perfect throw to complete that. Not that number 9 is not capable of that.
Important play here for the Royals on 3rd and 10. They're still at the midfield stripe. Stambaugh under pressure, just dumps it, and it's almost picked off. Getting his hands up was Brian Demcher, 6'2", 264-pound senior.
Trying to set up the screen, and it's an excellent read by Demcher. Getting pressure on Stambaugh is Cicchini, number 54. But you're going to get some, but that's just a good read by Demcher, who read screen and just dropped back into coverage. Wishes he'd had that one over again. Talk about big guys carrying the football. That would have been a rare opportunity for him. 6'2", 264.
Stambaugh, look out. Here comes the rush. He gets the punt off, and it is almost out of the stadium. It hits at the goal line and rolls into the growth behind the end zone. So there's no doubt about where Minersville will start this next series. 34 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and Minersville leading this contest 7-0. You're watching the Single A District 11 Championship Final here at Pius X High School.
51-yard punt to go along with the 63-yard punt from before, and this one just comes back out to the 20, though, and will net 31 yards. 2 Pius 10 possessions in this first quarter, 3 and out on each one.
Back under center, Brandon Marshall. Hands off to Murphy, and Murphy leans. Brings the ball up for about a 6-yard gain.
You like those guys. John Madden would like Murphy. Ripped shirt, mud on his uniform already. I mean, this guy's playing football. Look at the big guys that he's carrying with him. That's another 6-yard gain for Murphy. Middle of that line is anchored by number 54, Tony Cicchini, two-way performer, senior 6 foot. He is the center.
That's it.
Time runs out here on the first quarter, and it is Minersville leading Pius X High School 7-0 after 1 period of play. Mike and I will be back for the rest of this first half right after this on TV2 Sports.
Family entertainment never had it.
Welcome back. And there is a story here in the Single A Championship. Minersville taking the early lead after an impressive drive into the wind. Minersville will now have that wind to its back and a bit of an advantage for that. Dan Mowdy and Mike Zambelli ready to bring you the second half of action.
Pius X with the wind, as you mentioned, and no first downs, 2 yards rushing, 0 for 5 passing, 2 total yards. Minersville 5 first downs, 71 yards rushing, 1 of 2 through the air, did throw an interception for another 6 yards. Total 77 yards in that quarter. All Minersville. Certainly the big play was the fumbled punt. The turnover really turned things around as far as field position, and the Miners took advantage. There's a nice defensive play. You're going to see a lot of that this afternoon. There's some good football players playing in this game on both teams inside the tackles. as we have a break here. The Miners, as we mentioned, coached by Rick Jones. His assistants, Del Hawk, Carl McBreen, Jim Kramer. No, not our operations manager, Jim Kramer. Bob Marshall, Dave Zula, Dan Kerstetter, Charles Fritz, and Rich Dry.
Here you saw Rick Jones on the sideline, the head coach for Minersville. 3rd and 5. Marshall parks it short, and it's complete. And a penalty marker goes down. Penalty marker flying while Lauderman was trying to battle off his intended tackler.
Matt Brennan, number 34, will get some pressure on Marshall. There he is. Heck of a catch by Lauderman. That ball thrown behind him. Let's see what the call was, Dan.
Ineligible receiver.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking where that was thrown. The only thing it might have been was that or possibly a face mask, but there certainly wasn't one of those.
4th down situation by Minersville. Lauderman steps back to punt. He stands at about his 13-yard line. Somerville and Merlo are the deep men for Pius. Lauderman under pressure, has to put it almost straight up to avoid the block. And it bounds in favor of Minersville. And the wind is helping it a little bit too there. As you can see, there's not a whole lot stopping that football as it rolls to the 35-yard line.
Well, the wind helped it a lot. Royals with excellent pressure on the punter and almost came up with a block. It turns out to be a 38-yard punt, no return.
Mike, this field is one of the few flat parts of this region that we're in, and you can tell this field's seen a lot of football this season. The middle of that field is going to be a little bit slippery, and we've seen a couple of players lose their footing already.
Yes, we have, and now Phil Steinball will have to operate back into the wind. And we will see how that may be knocked down. Sometimes you're a little pumped up as a quarterback, and you know those overthrows. There's another fumble in there.
Well, the ball carrier was Somerville. Minersville trying to release the football from him. Good job of Somerville to keep it tucked in.
You're going to see somebody come in there going to strip it away, but Somerville was alert enough. Yeah, that's number 75, Brian Dempcher, who gets it loose for a second. But a nice job by Somerville of regathering and controlling, and pickup of about 4 on the play.
From the 39-yard line.
Second quarter, it's 7-0 Minersville.
Carry by Steve Smith. Smith, a fine two-way performer, and again Minersville trying to poke that thing away.
Mid-Penn Conference All-Star, mentioned him, the Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year was quarterback Phil Stambaugh, so they have him right here in Pius X. Stambaugh's numbers this season: 91 of 183 for over 1,750 yards, 18 touchdowns. He is a career 50% passer.
And the quick handoff to the big fullback nets the first down. Smith almost to the midfield line.
First down this afternoon. Smith coming into the game, 61 carries, 400 yards. Now there's two guys you're going to see a lot of each other.
He had a guy on each foot, and he still managed to work his way forward for a couple extra.
Jordan Marshall, number 35, with a stop, only a freshman. Good size.
From midfield, a handoff this time to Adam Gott. Gott, the 6', 168-pound senior. And he picks up about 3 yards on the carry. He's met by Matt Seabach.
Trying to establish now on their own ground game. Mentioned the Royals a little bit more diversified offensively, can run it as well as throw it. And now back into the wind, Coach Scagliotta now trying to keep it down on the ground, maybe establish some control of that line of scrimmage, which Minersville has gotten the best of so far.
9 minutes remaining in this first half. Stambaugh on the quick pass. On the screen, it's Somerville. Somerville stopped short of the Minersville 40-yard line. And that'll be awfully close to the first down marker.
Somerville's going to pick a watch number 21. That's Tony Merlo getting locked up. Twice he hits people. He's banging everybody around there. Actually knocked the defender into Somerville, but a completion and will be close to a first down. Somerville 16 receptions, second on the team. First completion this afternoon for Stambaugh.
short. If it's a 3rd and short.
Career numbers for Phil Stanball: 275 completions, 556 attempts, 4,773 yards, and 45 touchdowns. That's 4 years of work, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Outstanding baseball player and a wrestler. It was a 189-pounder, finished 5th in the district, went on to finish 4th in the states. Pitcher and a softball or a shortstop, 2A runners-up last year. He's looking to get his first gold medal. He has been in championship games before.
Big play here in this first half of play. 3rd and about a foot. Stanbaugh under center. He'll take it himself, try to sneak it over, and this is going to be off the close. Stanbaugh needed to get to the 40-yard line to get the first down safely, and he is very close.
Yeah, I think they're already over there. It's going to depend on the spot. If he reaches the white chalk, they got enough movement downfield, and then they veered him off. But even right there, he's laying on that 40-yard line, and that's where they spot it. That will indeed be a first down.
And it is.
Second one, both of them coming on this possession. So, ironically, both teams having more success offensively moving into the wind than with the wind. Sometimes you tend to get, when the wind's in your back, you try to do some things that, you're not accustomed to doing, and, into the wind, you just, stay a little bit more basic.
Timing play. Stanbaugh tried to drill one into Tony Merlo. And those low bullets do help when you're facing a bitter headwind. This one goes incomplete.
Quick drop.
Well, actually, it was number 12, Leal, who had a hand on it.
Tough throw from that short a distance. That's really coming in there with some heat.
From the I formation, the handoff, penalty markers flying. Merlo, the ball carrier. Not a whole lot happening in the middle of that Minersville line.
Well, and the reason it's not happening is because of this time it's the Miners who win that battle. Look at the push upfield. And number 68, perhaps Matt Seabach making the stop, but also number 35, Jordan Marshall, got good movement across the line of scrimmage. Penalty will go against Pius the 10th and will be declined. We'll make it 3rd and 9. You're just tuning in at 7-0 Minersville. District 11 Single A Championship. 8:04 remain first half.
Minersville's only 2 losses this season, coming at the hands of Blue Mountain and Southern Columbia. Another big play here for Pius X as they look to try to get on the scoreboard here in the first half. Oh, look out. Contact was made early as the receiver Somerville was on his back as the ball arrived.
Yeah, and all the officials are in agreement. There's enough hankies out there to start your own laundry business. There's 3 or 4 of them laying out there. Not tipped, contact already made, obvious call.
Well, if you're going to do that, you might as well get the most out of it. Really was a heck of a shot there issued by George Flanagan, but it will cost Minersville 15 yards.
Well, yeah, and it's a mental mistake defensively. You hate to give teams those kind of opportunities, let them pick up first downs. Pius X has made one mental mistake, and now defensively the Miners do. Miners made Pius pay for theirs, and see what the Royals come up with now as that drive stays alive.
Uh-oh. From the 25, never making eye contact with the football was Kazazis. Kazazis, the intended receiver, and he was looking for that ball as it was arriving, but it was a little behind him. Let's take a look.
And penalty marker also down on the play. They do check Kazazis at the line of scrimmage, and that's what ruins the timing. Those short plays really rely on timing. They check him at the line of scrimmage, and this penalty appears to be going against the Royals. Motion against the Royals, and it will cost them. That will be declined, and it will keep it 2nd and 10.
Talk about time management, Mike. Both of these teams have really taken control when they have the football, stringing out some long drives that are at least time consuming.
Jared Hildebrandt warming up on the sidelines. Obviously, the field goal kicker is a backup quarterback and defensive back, only a freshman.
Merlo on the move. The pitch out goes to Somerville, and Somerville is wrapped up early. And there is Flanagan making up for that earlier error with a nice tackle. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Well, you like to see a young man come back after making a mistake and make a good play. That's excellent run support by Flanagan. Comes up and pinches, and a nice one-on-one tackle in the open field, and it is a festive afternoon here at Pius X High School. I'm sure they'd like to see that, get some points on the board, as they are shut out to this point so far.
3rd and 8 from the 22, and this play is blown dead as the flags come out again.
This is a team that averages over 500 yards per game in offense, over 36 points a game, but so far this afternoon they have been shut out.
Illegal procedure, the call against Pius X.
They're making some mental mistakes, Dan. We've seen a lot of that the last couple of weeks. Certainly Central Catholic last night with a host of penalties to take nothing away from a big victory by North Schuylkill, but penalties certainly hurt the Vikings. Last week in the Colonial League Championship game, Catasauqua hurting themselves with penalties, and see what Pius can do here in trying to overcome a couple of mental errors.
3rd and 13, Stambaugh lets it fly. Look out! And this is going to go for a loss. Tony Merlo, the receiver. He was met early by a host of Miners.
Talked about how, maybe these are single-A schools, but you're going to see some talent. Number 35, Marshall, just a freshman. They want screen all the way. He has screen responsibility, and he's done his homework, and he's where he's supposed to be. Coming in to help and finish off, number 38, Matt Killian.
Back outside the 30, back on the 32-yard line, so Pius probably in a position where, of course, they'll go for it here. It's 4th down. They've got to get inside the 15. Yeah. It's 4th and 17 right now.
Stambaugh on 4th down will go for it. Has time. Lofts it deep. He's got a man. Merlo makes the grab. Touchdown, Pius X.
All right, some big plays, not only here, but that we have seen on 4th down. Merlo with just a great play because it was well covered. Again, the wind playing some tricks on it. Merlo is the team's leading receiver, 40 coming into this afternoon's game for over 700 yards. He's recorded 12 touchdowns. Playing with foot and ankle injury, made a great adjustment on the football.
Merlo had 1 touchdown reception last week against Jim Thorpe, a 13-yarder. And he gets his team on the board here. The extra point is up, and it is good by Somerville. We're tied at 7, 5:54 remaining in this second quarter in the District 11 Single-A Championship.
Well, that has woken up the town of Florissetta. As you can see, Stambaugh, he's going to let this one go. You just want your player to make the play. And there you're going to see there's Miners in the vicinity, but it is Merlo who makes the better read. Comes back to the football that was knocked down by the wind.
That's right.
He's going to be a little bit happy. 13th touchdown receiving on the year. 4th and about 17. And not only did they come up with a first down, they come up with a touchdown and tie the game at 7-all. A 12-play drive, 7 on the ground, 5 in the air, 65 yards. Stambaugh to Merlo from 32 yards out officially, and we're tied 7-7 for the District 11 championship.
I'll tell you, sometimes when you see that ball going high.
The deep men for Minersville, number 30, Bob Nagel, 44, John Murphy, and number 83, Josh Burgess on the near sideline. Each team scoring once into the wind, which has picked up a little bit once again. A low kick issued by Stambaugh. Look out, it was touched at the 22 and then picked up nicely by Josh Burgess. And Burgess with a fine return all the way up to the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Adam Goff.
It's a good play by Burgess Sr. You can see he's not one of the bigger guys, 5'6" and a buck and a half. but plays a lot bigger than that. A nice job of fielding that squib, and a nice job of weaving through some traffic using his blockers. And the Miners will start with good field position again, just outside their own 40.
First and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Here come the battling Miners. They send Murphy in motion. And they hand off to the lone setback. Not much happening for Lauderman. Getting good penetration was Pete Goffredo, who's playing with a banged-up shoulder.
Steve Smith also in the middle of that melee defensively. Just no movement. See, when you try and pull people, who makes a good play is number 50, Matt Smith, only a sophomore, 5'8", 201. He's the guy that stuffs the pulling guard and allows nowhere to run there offensively.
They go back to Murphy this time, and Murphy picks up 3 yards on that carry.
And the thing you have to love about District 11 and playoff football in general, just the intensity to which it's played, the hitting and the contact that goes on in between the tackles.
Oh, you're not kidding. Expect to see sparks coming out of that pile.
Kazassis, who did get knocked off the football a little bit there, does make the tackle, making it 3rd and 7. 7-7 tie here. 4:15 remains, second quarter.
Roll out by Marshall. Goes sideline. He's got a man and a nice catch. Still on his feet is Burgess. And Burgess with an excellent bit of running after the grab parks it at the 35-yard line.
Well, we don't have passing statistics, and we apologize for that. We were never supplied those. But Marshall with a great throw here. Excellent time with the people up front. Look at a good tight spiral, and that is well defensed. Lee all underneath. And then coverage from behind, 22 yards on the completion, 6th first down for Minersville.
Some good downfield blocking as well by the battling Miners. On the carry, Brian Lauderman. Minersville again going to the run on first down.
Well, and what stops this play defensively is again the movement across the line of scrimmage, number 34, Adam Goth.
That last play good for a yard. 2nd and 9 now from the 35. Trouble, a little contact there between quarterback and running back, but Murphy not showing any signs of the contact as he gets the first down all the way down to the 23 or 24-yard line.
Murphy with good vision, had a little trouble getting the wheels going to start, but nice job of bouncing that to the outside. Was designed to go inside the tackle. Good vision to get to the outside. 11-yard pickup now. 11 carries, 58 yards for Murphy.
One player is slow in getting up. That is Scott Moran, number 70 from Minersville. 6 foot, 216 pounds. He's a junior.
This afternoon, it's Minersville 7 and Pius the 10-7.
We'll certainly hate to see that. Well, we will hopefully everything will be all right there, but Moran is not showing much movement there, and we will have to just wait and see what happens. But there is our story. First of 2 second one, not a championship game. We will be moving up the road on 191 and finding our way to East Stroudsburg later this afternoon for tonight's game with East Stroudsburg and Parkland. That will be a 4A semifinal game. The other 4A semifinal pits Easton against Stroudsburg. That one taking place at Cottingham Stadium. And certainly, pretty good sign there as we see number 70, Scott Moran, putting some pressure on that knee, and hopefully we see him back in action. 3:06 remaining, 7-7.
It almost looked as though the training staff was leading him back to the huddle there for a second, but he will take at least one mandatory snap on the sideline, and we hope to see him back shortly thereafter.
Yeah, you do have to, no matter how much you want to get back into the huddle, you do have to sit out one play, as Dan mentioned, and Minersville on the move, 7-all.
3 minutes to play here in this first half. Brandon Marshall under center. 1st and 10, handoff. Murphy is hit early. And a big hit issue there by Pete Goffredo, and it takes a big hit to stop Murphy that early in a run.
Gaffredo, a junior, 5'10", 205. Let's watch it from his view. Nice read. And a nice fill into the hole. Steps up in there nicely. Still didn't let go.
Matt Brennan making his way off the side and not very quickly. Reaching down for that left ankle. Some big hits, and the hammering has taken its toll on both teams. And now Minersville will call timeout on 2nd and 8. The ball marked down at the 23-yard line of Pius X. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to play here in this first half.
They will have 2 timeouts remaining. Clearly some indecision there offensively. As you look at the countryside here at Pius X High School, Frank Scagliotta is assisted by Dan Catino, Vince Hildebrand, Theo Quiones, and John Leal. Principal at Pius X High School, Leonard Litzy. Athletic director, Mike Stambaugh, who is the quarterback's father. And we did talk about that story involving Rick Jones, the head coach over at Minersville. So a lot of good stuff happening here this afternoon. We're glad at Service Electric we can be a part of it. Keep in mind, if you are watching on a Saturday evening, we will replay this game Tuesday night starting at 9:30. District 11 championship on the line. It's their first 10-win season here in what has been an outstanding football program here at Pius X. First time that they have recorded 10 wins in a season.
Oh, Mark Murphy getting upended. Cleats flying high up in the air, and he is brought down after a short gain. May have gotten a yard. It'll bring up third, about 7.
That's a nice job of getting down low. Don't get the number. Look at Jimbo Grell. Wait, he's getting every kind of angle he can. That's our cameraman, Jim Grell. He's over there. Those are expensive seats over there, I'll tell you. You're sitting alone, Jimbo.
I thought he was hunting grouse over there. Big play here. Minersville getting tested as they try to punch it into the red zone. Here comes the pass, and it's knocked away. Minersville looking for Dave Sekelic, and it's knocked down by Mike Somerville. Number 6 versus number 6.
Yeah, Somerville with a good break on the football. They roll the quarterback, try to get him time. It works. And he guns that one, too. That's just excellent and well played by Somerville. Stepping up to make the play, and that will bring up 4th now. 4th down and 7. Joe Wolokovitz, we have a group of guys. We'll get into it. We're going to be working a doubleheader today. Hope you're enjoying Service Electric's coverage of District 11 championship football.
Timeout called by quarterback Brandon Marshall. The ball again on the 21-yard line, and a big 4th down play coming up.
Matt Walp.
Minersville will take the time to talk about it with 1:31 to play in the first half.
Matt Walp working one camera. We showed you Jim Grell, Mike Hodrick, Joe Wolokovitz. Directing this afternoon's telecast, Donnie Long. Engineering charge, Scott Richardson. Slow-mo, Dennis Rupert Long. Okay, that's a little twist there. Audio, Tim Himmelwright. Good job, guys. We'll be tearing down quickly here, and as I said, moving. Yeah, there we are, and we'll be moving along Route 191 to do the second of 2 this afternoon. There's Trooper Long. Of course, up here in the booth with us, Bill Bickle handling the stats, Dale Bortz, the spotter. We'll grab a little lunch and get game number 2 in. Hopefully the weather will hold up for us. We've seen some great football, too. Last night's game with Central and North Schuylkill. What a hard-hitting game. And we're seeing, there's Scott Richardson. And we're seeing more of that this afternoon. Real good football.
Big play here for Minersville. 4th and 7 from the 21 of Pius. There's the loft into the end zone. Incomplete. Contact was made, but it'll be incomplete, the call.
Well, and quarterback Brandon Marshall is just amazed. And I think what he's looking at is he thinks he has this one. Nice job of looking left and then going right. They just try to isolate, but that football just gets away on him again. It just floats on him. That wind is coming so hard, that it's really difficult. You don't want to underthrow it, and that wind just again carried that pass and resulted into an incompletion.
A number of things happening on that play, but in the end result, it is Pius X football at their own 21-yard line on the draw. The carry by Somerville, and we have a penalty marker down at the point of the tackle.
So many times you're going to get a hold, as you see indicated by the Royals with 122. They'll probably just, maybe run the clock out. There is the view being provided by Jim Grell, and it is a hold against Pius X. And this, in all probability, will put the Royals in a situation going into the win, game tied 7-all, where we might just see them maybe run things out. And it's going to be 1st and 20 from your own 10, and guaranteed. There are not too many plays in the playbook that you have 1st and 10 with in that situation. You really don't want to, you commit a turnover here, and now you risk going in at half and trailing in the game rather than being tied.
Stambaugh again looking right into a biting wind, and he'll hand off and hope for the best here. Somerville is met fairly early.
Impressed with the play of number 35, Jordan Marshall. A linebacker, will probably play some offense before his career's over. Another good job of stepping up and filling, and that's one-on-one work. He's down around the knees where you're supposed to be, comes up and makes the play. Just a freshman, Jordan Marshall.
2 yards of real estate gained on the play.
Clock continuing to roll, under 30 seconds.
Stambaugh takes the knee and continues to let the clock roll. And they will head to the locker room with the score tied here, 7-7. It has been a beauty so far. The single-A championship final. Minersville drawing first blood. Pius X coming back in the second quarter, and that's where we stand. We'll be back with more action right after this on TV2 Sports. We are back. Minersville, Pius X, two of the finest small schools in District 11 in the region, but small in number of students at each school alone because they are playing some big football today with some huge hits along the way. We're tied at 7. Dan Mowdy and Mike Zambelli ready to bring you the start of this second half at Pius X High School.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. Just another indication of, you don't have to be 4A, 3A, or, whatever. There's good football being played on all levels. First half stats, 7-3 in first down. Miners with an advantage in rushing, also 85-25. Each team with 3 completions for about the same passing yards, but the Miners have gotten more total yards, 115-58. Royals lost 1 fumble, and they paid for it. Cost them dearly as far as field position, and the Miners moved down the field to score. Individual numbers, Pius X, Smith, 2 carries, 11 yards. Somerville, 6 carries, 9 yards. Merlo, 2 catches, 27 yards, and a touchdown. For Minersville, Murphy, 13 carries, 61 yards. Laudeman, 6 carries, 6 yards. Marshall, 4 carries, 18 yards. Burgess, 2 catches, 28 yards. Excellent first half. We're looking forward to a great second half. Do want to correct one thing. Earlier in that first half, I said that Pius X posting its first 10-win season. That is incorrect. This is their second 10-win season, and both of them have come back-to-back. They won 10 games in last year's Eastern Conference Championship team and have won 10 again this season, looking to make it 11.
Murphy with a squibber, and it's going to be handled by John Murphy. A correction, that's Steve Smith, the other number 44, and he brings it up to the 40-yard line.
And tried to keep it on the ground, and I'm sure they wanted to try and get it downfield a little more than that. Pius will start from the 40-yard line.
Well, we'll see which team made what adjustments at the break, as Pius X now has the wind at its back and the football. Roll out by Stambaugh. He guns it to the sideline, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Mike Somerville.
We cannot say enough about the play of freshman Jordan Marshall. This is a freshman playing in a championship game. He was, not a starter at the beginning of the season, but has played into that spot. Number 35, dropping back into coverage from his linebacker spot, is in excellent position and almost comes up with an interception there.
How many times do we see a younger, overachieving brother of a big-time player? Here's a quick pass and catch, and it looks to be enough for a first down. George Flanagan coming up with that pigskin.
Too much cushion on that left side. He was keeping an eye on Merlot off the line, and I watched. He gave about a
Merlot will run the defense off, and then, nice job of coming back. Just the 4th first down for this Pius offense. Again, they average over 400 a game. Watch Merlot come back to the ball. Good catch, 12 yards and a first down.
1st and 10, just inside Minersville territory. The rollout by Stambaugh, and he's got his man. It is Somerville. Loose ball, and it's Minersville's football at the 30-yard line. Recovery made by Brandon Marshall, the big brother we were just referring to.
It's going to be number 21, Flanagan, who strips it free. Watch 21 come in and then wrap helmet on the football, pops it free. Recovered by quarterback, defensive back, Brandon Marshall.
big break for
So Minersville has collected a couple of key turnovers. And here they are at their own 30-yard line. Murphy carry for about 4 yards, and it looks like a battling Miner has been injured on the play. Slow in getting up is Brian Demscher.
Well, both teams have scored their touchdowns going into the win, but still this third quarter is very critical for Pius. It has to be easier to move with the win, although we have not really seen that. But 2 turnovers in the quarters where Pius X has had the football going with the win, it looks like might cost them. It certainly cost them in that opening quarter where they didn't get enough opportunities to take advantage of working with the win. And now here in the third, moving the football along nicely, a turnover, and now we'll see what Minersville can do with the ball.
And right now the attention being paid to Demscher, who you saw was kind of rolled. Somebody must have rolled on the back of his leg perhaps as he grimaced in pain at the end of that last play, and they are attending to him right now out at about the 35-yard line.
Trooper Dennis Long. And while we have a moment, we've talked about the Pius X record in the school's history, which dates back to the first season of 1956, 194 wins, 169 losses. There have been 15 ties. So last year, what a season they had. They had a first-team All-Stater in Brian Minicola, who has since gone on to college and is kicking field goals and extra points for Lafayette. And interestingly enough, their second-team All-Stater, who was Nick Martucci, who went on to Lehigh, and boy, what a freshman season he's having at Lehigh. He showed up on campus as a tight end. They've moved him to defensive end and has just played a bang-up game or season. As we see number 75 leaving the field for Minersville, Brian Demscher, and we hope that he will be able to come back. Not able to put much pressure on that right now. But back to the Martucci story, you can see that left ankle is already, with a brace already, and we hope that is nothing real serious. Martucci and Menicola will meet next week when college football's most played rivalry takes place at Murray H. Goodman Stadium.
Always a classic.
Yeah, and a great word to be said for the Pius X program to have 2 guys who are going to be a big part of that football game.
Second and 6 now for the Miners as they work from their own 34-yard line. Marshall will tuck and run to the first down marker and more. Marshall all the way to the 48. Minersville on the roll.
He had a key scramble on a 4th down, or probably more a designed run that he picked up a 1st down, which led to their first score. Here he's looking to throw, sees an alley, and not a bad idea. Instead of throwing it into that wind, running with it a little bit easier. 14 yards in the 8th first down for the Battling Miners.
And you know, when the flags are full and pointing skyward, that it is a brisk wind indeed coming up this mountain.
5 carries, now 32 yards for Marshall.
That was Lauderman. Lauderman meeting a lot of resistance at the line of scrimmage, still manages to gain a yard.
Rick Jones achieved their goal. They wanted to get to this game. Certainly you're here, you want to win, but you know, and it is an honor to play in a district championship game and should always be looked upon that way. Certainly it's the end of a great season for somebody, but
Lauderman gets through the initial tackling attempts, but he is brought down quickly thereafter. Might go for a loss of a yard, depending on the mark. Leading the charge was Stambaugh.
Yeah, and number 1, Casasas. Look at the people that are 3 yards deep in that backfield. Certainly you see the guys who come in and finish the play off, but Casasas and company, there's 3 guys in all blue uniforms that are 3 yards back in the backfield.
Faust Chicho also in on the tackle. 3rd and 9, Minersville at its own 48. And a little screen to Murphy. First down, he could go far. One man to beat. Murphy down the sideline to the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Minersville.
That is a fabulous call offensively. It will go 52 yards on the completion. It will go as a pass completion. But Pius the 10th, as we talked about, was getting good penetration. A good call against that is the screen. And boy, no better guy to get it to than John Murphy.
He talked about his appearance a little earlier. He is now wearing most of the football field on his uniform. And he puts the tee down as he's ready to send up an extra point attempt.
No, he's going to need a little stitch work if they move on and go into the first round of the state playoffs. And uniform starting to come apart at the seams.
Looks like there might have been motion on that offensive line. We'll have to see as the penalty markers come out. And it will go against the Battling Miners.
You know, and that could turn out to be a big one. See if they can overcome it and, you know, knock down the extra point. 13-7, Minersville lead. Amazing. Somebody would have said all 3 touchdowns to this point in the game would have been scored going in that direction. I would not have believed it.
Murphy with the extra point attempt. Sends it up. And it's no good, off to the right.
Well, and needless to say, that could become a critical miss. With 8:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter now, Pius the 10th will have to operate with that amount of time, win the win, and then we'll turn around and have to play. Watch the great block. Mark Leonard, number 77, with a great block, and then watch the work by some other big field down, or big people downfield. Well, nice double team. That's, you know, those are your linemen who are down there. Number 68 was Matt Seabach. Number 83, Josh Burgess, was also down there. But that was a lot of number 44, John Murphy.
Yes, it was.
Excellent call and well designed, well executed. Score comes, as I said, with 8:35 remaining in the 3rd. 5 plays, 4 in the ground, 1 in the air. The screen pass that you just saw went for 52 yards. The drive covers a total of 70 yards, and it is now 13-7 Minersville.
So Minersville, which drew first blood here in the first quarter, takes the lead again. And Murphy squibbing it, trying to keep it down low and away from that gusting wind. Sends it over the 40-yard line, and that's exactly where Pius X will start. A little behind the 40 at the 38.
Frank Chico, number 33, getting down on the football. And a very critical offensive possession now for Pius. They will have 8:40 of a very strong wind in their and then they will have to turn around and, if they are trailing in the game, have to go against that wind.
Stambaugh looks downfield, pump fakes, and then sends it up for Somerville. Incomplete.
Coverage on the play, number 21, George Flanagan. And Stambaugh starting to show a little frustration now with the wind. This is a heck of a throw. I mean, this is well covered by Flanagan. And he drops it in there, and again, it just floats a little bit too far on him.
And again, if you caught a glimpse of the flags, this wind is actually blowing up from right to left in a skyward position. Stambaugh has time, fires downfield, incomplete, and nearly picked off there by Sean Sakina.
Again, it's going to be good coverage, but you have to believe that there perhaps was a missed assignment. Two receivers, look at them, within 3-4 yards of each other, allows three Battling Miners defenders to be over in that area. Has to be a missed route there because you don't want two receivers that close together.
Good point. 8:11 to go here in the third. And it's 3rd and 10 for the Pius X Royals. They fire downfield. Stambaugh has a man, and it's caught for a first down. A collection made by Tony Merlo.
Well, this is a heck of a throw by Stambaugh. A critical play on 3rd down. They would have had to punt it. Again, it's well covered, and he leads his receiver Merlo perfectly. 14 yards, a first down, they're 5th.
Official timeout is called on the field, and Mike, we got to give Coach Scagliotta a plus there for showing a lot of confidence in his quarterback. Probably the best thing you can do in a gusty wind situation is keep trying to pass until you figure out what that wind is doing to the football.
No, and you might see them throw, Dan, on just about every possession here, because you cannot stress the importance enough of going into that 4th quarter at least tied, or maybe, you know, if you kick the score and get the extra point with a 1-point lead. If they go into that 4th period and have to battle that win, as good as their passing game is, that is going to be a tough mission to overcome. And there you get a look at Coach Scagliotta, and he's well aware of that. Would not be surprised as maybe just a token run here or there, but take full advantage of that 7:52 with the wind.
2nd and 3. Stambaugh downfield. It's hit. Oh, what a grab by Somerville.
Anybody goes to those practices or games and see them working on those tip drills, if you think they're crazy, watch this one. It's a heck of a play by Murphy, who almost comes with the interception. Great concentration by Somerville and a one-handed catch, 17 yards on the completion. That's a good athlete making a good play under the gun.
From the 24-yard line, the ball carrier is Steve Smith.
Well,
Smith grinds it out for a gain of about 5 yards.
A reception like Somerville's can, you know, get momentum going in your direction. Smith keeping it going was hit a yard deep in the backfield and turned it into a 6-yard gain. And you keep the clock running when you keep it on the ground, and now 7 minutes remain in the 3rd quarter.
Minersville's been tough inside the red zone. Stambaugh fires into a crowd. It's incomplete. He was firing into triple coverage looking for Somerville, who is very well covered.
When John Murphy closes in on you and you're looking to make a reception, you know it. Number 44 with the coverage. There he is. You know, he has made 2 good defensive plays. The one that was tipped did go as a reception, but this one he gets batted out of bounds.
Merlo hoping to pick up a tip there, but it flew a little too high and wide.
1 run, 9 passes so far in this quarter for Pius offensively.
Stambaugh, great protection, fires sideline, and he's got Merlo again. And it will move the chains.
Look at the job they do on the end. I mean, they try to hit him right out of the picture. Stambaugh, with plenty of time, can just set and fire. And a good throw into pretty good coverage again. Number 56 in the coverage, Jim Hansler. Hansler, a sophomore, playing good football.
Well, we heard about this multiple pro-style offense, and now we're seeing a little bit of that West Coast offense that those Philadelphia Eagles have been attempting most of the season. The quick passes of 10 yards, and there's Merlo. Touchdown!
You like to see programs and teams and young players rise to the occasion. Dan, that series could have been this football game. If they go 3 and out and give it to the Miners and they move it down the field and they have to go into that fourth quarter trailing, they're really hard pressed to come back. Impressive drive to get in for 6 points. But you like to see young men rise to the occasion. Gut check time, and now the extra point to take what would be their first lead this afternoon.
Stambaugh sends it through the goalpost and over the chain link fence. And now Pius the 10th takes its first lead of the ball game, 14-13 with 6:18 to go in the third.
Well, and they scored so quickly, they only used about 2 minutes off the clock. So now with 6:18, if they can get a 3-and-out situation, they might get another possession yet in this third quarter. Another look at the throw. Look at the good job they do on the end again. I mean, there's just no resistance. Stambaugh, and he will deliver a perfect strike.
Watch
that's
Merlo.
Between the 2 and the 1. And Merlo knows where the end zone is, doesn't he? That's what they call smelling pay dirt. 9-play drive, 1 on the ground, 8 in the air, 62 yards. Stambaugh to Merlo from 12 yards out. The extra point gives the Royals their first lead this afternoon. Ooh, this is fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
This is some good football.
Second touchdown through the air for Pius X. Stambaugh gaining more and more confidence and more control in these gusty, windy situations. Look out, Miners are having trouble picking up the ball, and finally getting a good start is Nagel. Bob Nagel bringing the ball upfield. He's just 5'6", 145-pound junior.
They're Jared Hildebrand, you see, a freshman. Little pancake on the kickoffs, getting a nice stick being congratulated. 14 yards on the return. Watch the stick by Hildebrand. He will get rewarded. Oh, they like that.
Oh,
yeah, that's some fun.
Somebody's flipping pancakes out there. Hand off to Murphy. And Murphy picks up a couple. Brings the ball up to about the 32-yard line.
Momentum so important. Royals now have seemed to have gathered that. Now it's up to the Minersville offense to try and take away some of that momentum. This becomes, with 5:32 first downs, could get Minersville into the fourth period, and then maybe have the wind at their back.
Brandon Marshall under center, hands off to Murphy, and he is hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Big hit by Anthony Kazazis.
And Kazazis letting Murphy know a little bit about it. There is number 1. You have to keep in mind that once you see him get to the ball carrier, there's a blocker that he's removing from his way, too. That's a good play.
And now it's the Royals that are raking at the football on each and every carry, hoping to turn it over.
Real big third down.
3rd and 8.
And I'd be a little leery of a screen or a draw here in this situation.
Brandon Marshall firing downfield, and they'll go to the marker for contact. Again, it was Sekelic, the intended receiver, locked up with Mike Somerville.
Boy, this is going to be a first down. But I cannot stress the importance of this call here. Somerville on the defense. It's certainly an uncatchable football, but that rule is not on the high school level, I do not believe.
Another break here for Minersville, coming by way of the penalty mark.
Oh, a critical call. And if for no other reason, they're going to have to punt the football, and Pius would have had another look at a possession with over 4 minutes. Would have been plenty of time with an offense that's starting to click to move down the field. It gives Minersville their 10th first down.
And just think, if they had the punt, Minersville punting into the wind, the ball might not have crossed the midfield line.
Monumental call, Dan, no question.
Murphy met hard, met early. Might have been sent backwards for a loss of a yard.
Second and 11.
That time Murphy's dropped for a 1-yard loss of the field. The hole just closed up so quick you know where to go. You didn't even have the time to cut out outside. That's how they pursue it.
Pius the 10th working hard to keep the momentum alive on their side. They really had it taken away from them by Minersville through most of that first half. They lead by a point to the Royals, 14-13. Play action, Marshall over the middle, incomplete. Neil Klitsch trying to spin and catch, and it falls down to the ground.
Oh, in a well-designed play, and we have an official now chasing his cap. It is really getting windy. Yeah, they've retrieved it. But boy, a play for Minersville. Well-designed, executed well to this point right there. Boy, you can't draw it up any better than that. Tough break for Klitsch. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. Klitsch is a junior.
Brings up 3rd and 12. Minersville working from its own 45-yard line. Marshall gets hit as the ball floats up. He was hit as he released the football. And a treacherous situation there. Steve Smith of Pius X trying to hone in on that flippy-flop ball. Let's take a look.
That couldn't have been Sue. He was over on the left side. He was one of the players that got in there and got some pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Murphy will now have to punt into the wind, standing at his own 32-yard line. Here comes the rush. Murphy will get this one off, and look at it, just stopped dead in midair by the wind.
Well, that was almost coming backwards until it got close to the ground. Just knocked right down.
They mark the ball down, and the wind starts rolling it down the field. That's how strong it is out there. Just Pius the 10th with the football at their own 40-yard line.
15-yard punt, no return. Beautiful
just some
countryside.
Gorgeous sights around
sure
here.
Is.
Merlo, the eye back, and here comes Stambaugh with time, guns it to Somerville, and Somerville keeps it in bounds. A gain of about 6 or 7 on that pass play.
Stambaugh afforded the time to look off maybe to even a second or third, at least a secondary receiver. Watch the time. Offensive line, an excellent job. See, he's looking deep, and then he'll just drop it off to the underneath man, which is number 6, Somerville.
Second and 3 for
the Royals working from the near hash mark. Stambaugh, look out, has to get rid of it, and he goes long. This one will be out of reach. He was looking for Tony Merlo, and Merlo trying to get through some tough stuff there at the line of scrimmage, and that's something Minersville's done pretty well today.
Boy, that pass just took off on him. I mean, he got a good tight spiral on it. It looked like it got in a jet stream. Looked like it wasn't going to come down till it got to Rosetta. I mean, that thing, that just goes, look at how that thing takes off.
3 minutes to play here in the 3rd period. 3rd and 4. Stambaugh, look out. A big defensive effort there. Coming up big was Sean Sukina, laying the body out to knock that one away. Stambaugh looking for Tony Merlo.
Cicchini, number 54, will get close to Stambaugh this time. And a rifle shot. Nice defensive effort by Sukina.
Punting formation for the Royals. Stambaugh awaits the snap at his 35. Burgess all the way back at his 5-yard line, and for good reason. Look at the angle on this one. It'll go out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Stambaugh playing the sideline perfectly on the punt. They'll mark it at the 11.
2:49, 3rd quarter remains. Royals 14, Battling Miners 13.
You get the feeling that Stambaugh might have been present for a couple of punt, pass, and kick contests in his career.
42-yard punt. no return. He now has a 63-yarder, a 51-yarder, and a 42-yarder, and naturally with a little bit of a win-aided effort. Does a good job of angling. Trying that way, it doesn't come back out to the 20 and get a couple of yards inside that 20 anyway to the 11.
Brandon Marshall goes with his money man, Murphy, and Murphy moves the ball out of harm's way a little closer to the 15.
They lose one of their, big, strong linemen.
Well, and look maybe for Minersville to maybe drag their feet here a little bit. Even if things, even if you don't get a first down, 2:24. Like to pick up a first down, even if the drive doesn't materialize. Can't stress that wind enough here this afternoon. To punt back into that wind, would really be a tough chore.
Sakina goes downfield. Marshall looks his way and then dumps it off a little loose ball. And Pius the 10th has come up with it. Pius the 10th has the football at the Battling Miners 26-yard line. Wow.
Great defensive effort. A couple of good things happening here. This is a good job by Marshall, who puts it on the numbers. And then you get from behind and in front.
What a shot.
Yeah, and then they're just ripping it free. Somerville rips it out. Merlot comes up with the fumble recovery.
A carry by Steve Smith. And again, this Minersville defense coming up big when it starts getting itself pinned back in its own territory.
That's just their second rush this second half for Pius the 10th. They have gone to the passing game. And again, with the third quarter, I'm sure you're going to see them put it on the ground a little bit more in that fourth quarter.
All the way up from Central Catholic, Matt Seneca. And look at this pass. A pass and a catch made at the 10-yard line by Tony Merlot. He has had some key receptions today.
Good job they continue to do on the outside. Not only do they get good blocks there, but they're clearing people out of the way. They give Stambaugh good vision to look down the field.
I was about to say, quarterback Matt Seneca of Central Catholic in the crowd today. Tough loss last night to North Schuylkill, and he doesn't live too far from this area.
Well, they used to live up here in the Wind Gap area, but now...
loose ball. And I think Minersville might have taken it back. How about that? Talk about a tough defense in the red zone.
Third turnover charged against Pius. 44 seconds remain third quarter, and this is a critical one.
First they lose the football on the ball, they get it back now, and here's how you got
helmet on the ball.
And why wouldn't it be number 44 making the play? Coming in the first hit, but the second hit is the one that jars it free, is number 36, Brian Lauderman.
Roll out by Marshall. He's got receivers downfield. He finds one. It's complete. And it's Burgess down to the 25-yard line. That'll be a first down.
Now back to that Seneca story quickly, Dan. He's real good friends with Steve Smith. They told me during practice this week that he was going to be up to watch the game, and certainly a tough loss for the Vikes last night, but another great season for them as you watch the replay back to what we're doing here in Burgess. That's a little guy playing with a big heart. I mean, he's putting the helmet into some big people there.
Time running out on the third quarter, and we have another classic battle here in District 11 championship action. Stay tuned. The fourth quarter is about to begin in the 1A championship with a 1-point difference between Pius X and Minersville. High School, and that is the situation. Pius X taking its first lead of the ball game in that last quarter, and it's a 1-point tenuous lead at best. Ready to start the fourth quarter. Dan Mowdy and Mike Zambelli, glad you could join us.
Third quarter numbers. Well, let's get this play in first offensively for the Miners.
First and 10 for the battling Miners from the 25-yard line. Look out, a slip and a loose ball. The exchange was never made, and Pius X comes up with it. That was Max Sue, the tackle, 6'3", 263 pounds. He's a senior, and he's one happy fella.
You know, both teams, that's 3 plays in a row, 3 turnovers. Now you see the hit inside. That's number 1. That nose guard we talked about is Casasas. 3 straight possessions and 3 turnovers. Number 55 coming up with the latest one, Max Sue.
Waterman losing his footing as he started his run from the backfield. The exchange was just never made.
Third quarter stats, Minersville, 4 first downs, 21 rushing yards, 3 for 5 passing, 76 yards, 97 total. Pius, 6 first downs, 2 yards rushing, 9 for 15, 115 yards in the quarter for total 113.
Look at Merlo finding a seam. Merlo all the way down to the 10-yard line. First down for Pius the 10.
Well, Minersville has done a very admirable job of throwing the football here this afternoon. They are primarily a running team, and to fall down by more than 7 points could be devastating to them. They'd have to go to the air more, heck of an effort, right up the guts. Merlo finishing off the run. Primarily a receiver, but as you can see, does a real good job of running the football also. Now back at that tailback spot.
Merlo dots the I on 1st and goal from the 9.
Same play, Sean, but Merlo.
And it'll bring up 2nd and about 8.
They're looking to try and break that one inside, and the hole was there. Merlo tried to break it to the outside. And Coach Scagliotti takes a look at that. He's going to ask Merlo to please stay in there. There was a nice opening there if he would have just stayed left of the tackle, but that's always a tough call.
The battling Miners need a big defensive stand. Stand by for the end zone. Touchdown. Steve Smith receiving the ball in the 1 and finds the corner for 6 points.
Well, Smith, as you can see with his size, primarily a rusher and a blocker, did have 9 receptions coming into the game, but picks one up there for a touchdown.
Big Steve has shown us that he has some soft hands, and he makes a nice reception here to bring it in.
Well, now you have an opportunity, Dan, to go for 2 and maybe put this thing out of reach. Certainly 1 would make it an 8-point game, and then Minersville would need a touchdown 2-point conversion, and that's what they will do. They will line up and go for the 1.
Stand by, puts it up, and it's no good, off to the right. Wow. So a bit of a break there for Minersville as you see the numbers on the scoreboard, and a pretty lively crowd here today cheering on their team.
Happy Pius the 10th following. Score comes 4 plays after the turnover. All right, now this one is back into the wind, and this guy has a rifle of an arm. I mean, that is on a rope. And nice job of concentrating, getting inside that pylon by Smith. Pius now with 10:45 remaining in the game, converts 4 plays after the turnover, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air for 24 yards. Stand by to Smith from 7 yards out, 20-13, Pius the 10th.
3 touchdowns, all in the air. Stand by, ready to squib kick this one to the 35-yard line, and it's handled there by Neil Klitsch. Klitsch works his way up to about the 39.
The winner moves on into the first round of the PIAA state tournament. The loser is finished for the year. District 1 championship, Bristol or Jenkintown. The winner here gets the winner of that one. Momentum clearly now with Pius, and Minersville now needs to do something offensively to get it back swinging in their direction.
Still plenty of time for the battling Miners. 10:25 showing in this 4th quarter. Marshall with time, looks deep downfield, and he's hit as the ball goes up. Incomplete. trying to draw a bead on it was defensive back Mike Somerville. The intended receiver was Burgess.
And number 11 has a 1 floating around him is Anthony Kazasas again. See, number 1 knows he gets something in there, and it's a reason that ball flutters and is so poorly thrown and off the mark.
Those linemen just love the opportunity to catch a quarterback when they can't see him from the blind side. Second and 10 now for the battling Miners. Marshall, quick drop, floats it on the timing play. It's picked up. Charlie Angelini comes up with the ball. 5'8", 146-pound sophomore. Angelini practicing the tip drill all by himself out there, manages to come up with it on the third tap.
Well, you don't want to get beat deep in this situation for sure. And Angelini just reads this right from the get-go, and he plays it well, and it is difficult in that wind, and just bats it to himself, comes down with the interception. Angelini, a sophomore. 5'8", 146.
And off Merlo. Merlo almost managed to fire his way through that stiff defensive line, and he picks up about 4 on the carry.
Well, now you put the game in the hands of guys up front. Dave Henderson, Brad Atkins, Max Sue, Pete Goffredo, John Caruso, the big linemen up front. You rely on them to make some running room, and now you're going back into that win with a 7-point lead, and you start to work some time off the clock.
Second and 6. Pitch out. Merlo follows some big blockers. Cuts the corner. Midfield line. Tries to stay in bounds. And he does the high hurdle all the way to the 46-yard line of Minersville.
And a nice job by Merlo of even staying in bounds. The clock is on their side. Good pick number 44, Steve Smith leading the way. He gets a block in the seal on the inside, and then it's the speed of Merlo. And that is a good move right there to cut it back and stay in bounds. 16 yards on the carry, 11th first down. Merlo now 4 carries, 27 yards.
Merlo clicking his heels. He knows he's not in Kansas, though. There's a nice carry by Steve Smith. And Smith rambles down to the 35-yard line for another first down.
Well, this team is starting to smell District 11 championship. Boy, and I don't know why. Would there be any reason that number 44 here would remind you of another 44 at Central Catholic, Mike Caramelli? Yeah, look at Smith dancing out. Defensive Player of the Year in the Mid-Ped Conference, but he also gets it done offensively.
Wide to the left goes number 4, Angelini, but they'll play it closer to the vest, and Merlo is met early. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play.
Battling Miners need for somebody to stand up and take charge. Now you're getting close to being number 1. Matt Seabach, number 68. Look at that. That's what you call taking on a lead blocker. Certainly other people get credited for the tackle, but Seabach is the guy who shut it down at the point of attack.
Look at the football rolling off the mark.
I was gonna say we have a loose football out there. Loose pigskin.
Second and 10 now from the Minersville 35-yard line. Stambaugh again with time. May decide to run this one. He is shirt collared and brought down. And now the penalty mark is down. Personal fouls going against Minersville.
Well, it's a smart decision by number 9. You don't want to make a mistake here. And now they're corralling down, and that, maybe not so much. You might not think that's a late hit, and it was close, but I think more the use of the top of the helmet is the call there. That wasn't so much late as it was, the burying and the use of the top of the helmet as a weapon, and that's a good call by the officials.
15-yard penalty, and they mark it at the 15-yard line.
Third penalty against Minersville. 25 yards total.
Smith staying on his feet, made his way through a host of initial threats and works his way down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, there was a series in that third quarter offensively. Was gut check time for the Royals. Now defensively, this is the same scenario for the Miners. Someone needs to step up and make a big play, or their District 11 hopes are going to go with the wind here at Pius X.
Kazazis and Somerville lined up wide to the left. The handoff will go to Merlo. Merlo to the 3. That battling Miner defense has been on the field a long time here in the second half.
Yes, they have, and Merlo showing you a great versatility in this game. 5'11", 180, and has good strength to get out of a tackle.
Let's go. Get us on the air.
3 TDs in the air. Let's see if Stambaugh will try one here. No, they'll stay to the ground game, and why not? Somerville on the carry. Might have gotten another yard out of that one.
It's only been 1 decade at this high school, Pius X, where they didn't have a losing record. That was in the 80s, Dan. They only won 17 games in the entire decade of the 80s, but have certainly turned things around to where they're back to where they'd like to be.
2nd and goal from the 2, and we're within 6 minutes to the finish of this fourth quarter. Handoff, and it's Smith barreling into the end zone for the touchdown, his 2nd of the day.
Royals will go for 2. Coach Gagliano immediately put up 2 fingers.
Smith caps it off. It's a 5:48 mark.
5:48 will be remaining. You know, plenty of time, but for a non-passing team like Minersville, that could be maybe not enough time.
Royals looking to make it a 15-point game, and it's not going to happen. Somerville, the intended receiver, so the score will stay. Royals 26 and Minersville 13. Still some time left in this one. 5:48 showing on the clock.
Hope you are enjoying Service Electric TV2's coverage of District 11 Single-A Championship football. You get a look at the extra point or try for the extra deuce there. Not good. Executive producer of TV2 Sports, John Wilson Jr. Producer Don Hunt, operations manager Jim Kramer, directing and producing this afternoon's telecast, Donnie Long, and we hope you are enjoying today's coverage. Pius X, 3 unanswered scores now in the second half. 5:48 remain, a 9-play drive, all 9 of them on the ground. Told you that once they started going back into that ground or into that wind, maybe put it back on the ground. 66 yards. Smith from a yard out. 2-point try, not good. 26-13. Dan, a key play in that drive, kept it going, was the unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul. You can't make mistakes like that in championship games.
The ball handled at the 35-yard line, and look at that surge. Neil Klitsch bringing the ball up, and Minersville will have it at their own 35.
Statman Bill Bickles slides me an interesting one. Merlo, 1 carry, 1 yard in the first half, 6 carries, 35 yards in the second half.
Minersville sends 2 receivers to the left of Marshall. Marshall, the quick drop, and he fires it. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Pete Gofredo. And Gofredo makes his way to the Minersville 37-yard line.
Gofredo Jr. will be back next year. Boy, there's nothing sweeter than that. Big guy like that, 5'10", 205. Plays guard offensively. We're responsible for the success that this team has had both on offense and defense. And they are getting ever so much closer to their first ever district championship.
Marshall taking his position as a safety now on defense for Minersville. Here's the handoff for Somerville, protecting the football. And he is tackled inbounds at the 30-yard line.
Keep it between the white stripes. Keep it in play. Keep that clock running. Keep both hands on the football. You see it whenever anybody gets close. They're going to double clutch it. Don't want to turn it over here.
Ball will be marked down smack on the Minersville 30-yard line. 4:38 running to play the football game.
Yes, 2nd and 4 now. Pius X keeps the ball on the ground, trying to work on the clock, while Minersville looks to stop the running game, and they did so nicely there. Tony Merlo on the carry, not much happening. Lost a yard on the play.
Yes, hello. Hope you're enjoying the game this afternoon.
If you're watching our same-day coverage Saturday evening, don't forget this game will be replayed on Tuesday evening at 9:30 on TV2 Sports. Coming up next, if you're watching on a Saturday evening, will be District 11 4A action, Parkland at East Stroudsburg. Merlo incomplete, and apparently Pius X not quite content to just run out the clock as they're looking for some more points.
Well, it's taken a little while, but Phil Stambaugh has really got a grip on the win now, doesn't he? I mean, his touch in his second half, he realizes to give it a little extra. You know, that is some kind of throw with that kind of coverage into the breeze that that's not a breeze going in his face. And he really adjusted nicely in that third quarter going down when really showed you something. Merlo 8 catches, 35 yards.
4th and 6, and going for it is Pius X at their own 30, or I should say the Minersville 31. That ball just thrown safely into the end zone, and Minersville will take over on downs at their own 31.
Merlo with 7 catches, 89 yards. Oh, excuse me, 124 yards. That one overthrown, a little bit too much on it. Minersville will take over.
Minersville with a big responsibility here. They trail by 13, 3:35 remaining. Marshall is in trouble, and he is brought down by Kazazis.
First sack, and it becomes very obvious, you know, that the offense is going to have to throw the football. When number 1 has really been a thorn in the side of the Miners here this afternoon. Kazazis again, first sack.
Marshall fires long, just out of the reach of the intended receiver. It was Dave Sekelic. That'll bring up 3rd down and a bundle.
You know, it looks like for the 2nd year in a row, these two teams will meet. Last year it was the Eastern Conference Championship, and Pius X a 3-point winner there, 17-14, and they lead again here this afternoon for the District 11 Single A title, 26-13.
3rd and 18. Marshall fires. He has a man. It is caught. And Sekelic collects the ball, but he's about 3 yards short of a first down.
You know, that's not going to matter. Field position, you have to go here. There's no tomorrow for the Miners. They need a first down. They need to keep going, and they need 13 points.
Minersville calls timeout, stopping the clock at 2:57 to go here in the 4th quarter. Very impressive second half for a rebounding Pius X team as they took the lead in the 3rd quarter and just kept on rumbling. They lead this one 26-13.
Merlo 8 carries on, now we'll get it right. 8 carries, 35 yards, 7 catches, 89 yards, total 124 in the afternoon. Now we got it together, huh?
You get 4 times the high school football coverage on TV2 Sports this weekend. Don't forget, coming up Sunday, it'll be same weekend coverage of the District 11 2A Championship Final, Northwestern versus Catasauqua. We'll be bringing that to you Sunday evening at 8 p.m. on TV2 Sports. We want to thank our partners up at Blue Ridge Cable for bringing that one to you. Fourth and 5. Marshall guns it for the far sideline, and it's incomplete. Tough play for Minersville as they gave it their best there to try to keep the ball moving. Pius X will take over.
Yeah, and kind of fittingly, the way the day has gone, they made some mental mistakes, and they certainly have paid for them. Both teams did that, but certainly Minersville will be more glaring because they are on the losing end right now of a 13-point deficit. And, you know, one of the things that Pius X has been able to do in this second half is take John Murphy out of the game. You know, their dominance and their controlling and being able to get in front forces Minersville to go to more of a passing game, and that's where you get big number 44, where he doesn't become much of a factor.
Somerville tripped up early, and now Minersville will call timeout. That will stop the clock at 2:44 to go here in the fourth.
Principal at Pius X High School, Leonard Litzy, athletic director Mike Stambaugh, and I certainly want to thank both of them for their courtesies, particularly Mike for the great information he supplied me on these young people so that we can better inform you, the audience out there. Minersville High School Principal Urkel Lasianka, athletic director Mike Evans, assistant Fred Lutkus. Murphy, first half, 13 carries, 61 yards. Second half, 4 carries, 4 yards. And I think that tells the difference in when a running team is ahead in the game, you can stick with your game plan, but when a running team falls behind and now you have to abandon it, and all of a sudden you lose the greatness, of a John Murphy.
It's not over yet, and you can tell that by the look on the face of Matt Smith, the Pius X. Sideline shot. 2:44 to play, 13 points the difference. Pius X will continue to work on the clock with the running game. Merlo with the carry, but we have a penalty marker down. And it's going to be clipping against the Royals.
Push up field, and Merlo really a pretty good job to advance it. That will all go for that effort, all for naught, as there will be a clip or a hold in that line of scrimmage. Pius X trying to join their neighbors. Penn Argyll has had a couple of district championships, 2 of them to be exact, in single A. 84 won the first one, and 86, of course, Penn Argyll just around the corner from here. And then Bangor, if you go a little bit more north, is right here. We're in the town of Bangor. They won a Class 2A championship back in 1987. So Pius X, that is looking to add their niche along with all of that, with all of the great football that has been played up in this area. Really a small community to have 3 high schools produce those kind of championships, that's for sure.
That is something.
They love their football up here.
Rick Jones getting every moment of this timeout as he spends it with his troops on the defensive end of the football, and now hustles off. Good turnout tonight by the media covering this contest for both schools, and it's all a part of it.
We also want to mention the captain, Dan Himmelright, who will be back at Master Control. He'll be putting in a lot of extra hours this weekend so that you can see all of these good high school football games. Job well done by everybody.
3rd and 11 for the Royals from the 38-yard line, and there's another penalty marker as Smith tries to push his way forward.
If this one goes against Pius, you must have to make him give up the football. It's 3rd and 11. Yeah, you have to decline this one.
Illegal motion against Pius X. And it is declined. 4th and 7 coming up.
Nonetheless, it seems like Pius did a good job, Bill, of taking Murphy out of the game. That's why the majority of the second half seems like...
And the Royals will go for it on 4th and 7 at the Minersville 34.
Pius is going to go for it for 4th and 6, and Stambaugh will give...
Handoff. Somerville looks for a seam. And some good overlapping by the secondary coming up to stop Somerville short of the 30. The battling Miners will take over the football at around their own 30. 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. They trail by 13.
Oh, and looking, Blake, maybe look for them to try and get the ball to Murphy, underneath that screen pass earlier. Certainly was nice in that third quarter, included in his second half numbers are not that. And Murphy staying in the backfield and blocking that one just slightly overthrown.
Marshall looking for Sekelic, incomplete, so it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Got a solid hit.
1:47 remaining in the contest.
So right now, 1:47 play in the football game. Pius coming with that strong and
Murphy back to block. Marshall pumps and decides not to let it go, and now he is knocked down. Dave Endershot ripping through the line to make the sack. Endershot, a 6'1", 208-pound senior.
Sophomore Matt Smith also getting a piece of the action. Good coverage in the secondary.
3rd and 20, and look out, that ball nearly picked off by Dan Leal.
Pius will move on into the first round of the PIAA state tournament. They will get either Bristol or Jenkintown, and I believe the favorite in that game is Bristol. Those two teams have played already, and Bristol won that game by a 40-21 score, and most experts feel that it will be Bristol, which will be next up for Pius X. You're just going to have to stay tuned for your local newspapers to find out where and when that game will be played for Pius X.
4th and 20, Marshall looks sidelines, goes long, and it's popped up and incomplete. Good coverage there by Tony Merlo. They were going to Burgess. It was a well-thrown football by Brandon Marshall.
Time to start talking about the Yakos player of the game, guy.
Tough choice. You've got a lot of candidates.
No, there sure are. Certainly, you look at the versatility of Merlo. Stamball certainly played, another great game on his part.
Got Big Steve Smith scoring twice today, once in the air, once on the ground. Stambaugh takes the knee. I think we're going to have to defer this decision to the post-game show. It's a tough one.
We'll have to talk about it a little bit, huh? one minute. Uh-oh. That looks like that's getting ready for some business here.
Brewing in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not going to wait. Or are they? Our camera's on the prowl with the Gatorade bunch.
Well, they got a chance to get 3 coaches there. A little slow.
Now they back up. I think they got caught.
Well, it's a little cold to be getting that little warm. 34 seconds.
I think a second attack is in order. Those 2 players now, they get up.
Well, we're going to watch Pius X celebrate their first district title. Certainly, congratulations has to go out to Rick Jones and his coaching staff. What a great game they played here this afternoon. What a great season. They will end at 8-3.
It's Gatorade again. Here it comes. 7, 6. And they're standing up.
Don't look for him out in the wind too much anymore this afternoon.
Those post-game interviews are sure to be short ones. Final score, it is Pius X 26, Minersville 13. Your District 11 1A champions are the Royals of Pius X. Mike and I will be back to take a look at statistics from our own Bill Bickle right after this on TV2 Sports. Welcome back to Pius X High School, and there are the final numbers for you. The District 11 1A champion Royals ready to receive their medals. And it was a most entertaining contest. We give a lot of credit to Minersville, and head coach Rick Jones had his team prepared for this one. And really, Mike, this game went right down to the fourth quarter.
Mistakes, mental mistakes, turnovers, big series in that third quarter by Pius X. Take nothing away from either team. Just a great afternoon and another fine example of high school football. Both coaches, both schools should be very proud of the performance their young people put on here this afternoon. Certainly somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and that's the unfortunate thing to all of this. But, everybody will walk away from this game, with fond memories of it, no question. Let's take a look at the numbers. Minersville 11 first down, Pius X 13. Rushing yards, Minersville 86, only 1 yard rushing in the second half.
Wow.
108 yards for Pius X, and they only had 25 in the first half. Then in the second half, Pius had 150 total yards, 13 of 28 for Steinball. There is our Yakos player of the game, Turney Merlo. Unfortunately for him, he won't win anything, but the first caller Monday morning after 9 o'clock to identify him as the Yakos player of the game will win a Yakos doggy pack. So congratulations to whoever calls, and congratulations to him for being honored in that way. Minersville passing 7 of 19, 2 interceptions, 121 yards. Total yards, Minersville with an advantage, 207, Pius X to 159. Minersville lost 2 fumbles, Pius lost 3. Each team punted 3 times. Penalties, Minersville 3 for 35 yards, Pius 3 for 30 yards. Individually, Smith 8 carries, 36 yards for Pius. Merlo 9 carries, 38 yards, and Merlo 7 carries, 89 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also recovered a fumble. So he certainly put in a full afternoon's work. You are looking at number 1, Anthony Casasas, who also played a whale of a game. Minersville individually, Murphy 17 carries, 65 yards, had 13 carries, 61 yards in the first half, so a good job of bottling out. Laudeman 10 carries, 8 yards. Burgess had 3 receptions for 40 yards. We got to give you a quick wrap because we have more work yet to do this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed it.
They started the engine on the truck already. They're ready to go to East Stroudsburg. Stay tuned. More coverage coming up if you're watching on a Saturday night as we bring you Parkland at East Stroudsburg in Class 4A semifinal action. Final score once again here in the Single A Championship. Pius X defeating Minersville 26-13. For Mike Zambelli, Bill Bortz, there I go again, Dale Bortz, Bill Bickle, our stats guy. This is Dan Mowdy. Thanks for joining us, and stay with us on TV2 Sports.